I'm going to start this lecture by looking at the literal meaning of the poem so that you can understand the story that is being told. I'll then look a little more closely at some of the other meanings we might get from the poem. But before I start with the story of the poem, we need to look at the title. When we think of a manhunt, we think on a literal level of a search for a person. However, this term is often linked to criminals, of someone who is being chased. This title has negative connotations, and so it could be suggesting that this poem may have a bleak tone. The hunt for her husband comes after an initial welcome, where we read about their passionate nights and intimate days, which shows a real closeness between the couple. Once they have experienced this intimacy, Laura starts to explore, to handle and hold, and mind and attend her husband's body, looking closely at his injuries. She then starts to move towards his mental suffering, his grazed heart. She can see his pain and hurt, which she sees as an unexploded mine deep inside him. The end of the poem is ambiguous, which I will talk about a little bit later in this lecture, and there is a sense that though she has been trying to heal his wounds, she can't completely reconnect with him after everything he's been through, but can only come close. Now we're going to look a little bit closer at the poem. As I previously mentioned, at the start of the poem we get a real sense of a romantic, sexual and loving couple, almost like they're in a new relationship. There is a sense that Laura needs to get to know her husband again, as though he is a different person. Armitage could be suggesting here that the impact of war can change someone completely, turn them into someone different, and Laura needs to find her husband again. As she traces the scars on his body, it is as though she is trying to fix him. The line, "Only then would he let me," repeated twice, shows she is waiting for him to give her permission to touch him. It is a slow process. She comes to his broken lower jaw, and perhaps Armitage is using this image to show that Eddie is unable to talk to his wife. He is struggling to tell her what he has been through. But her patience helps with the slow healing process. Laura is trying to mend her husband, to bind the struts and climb the rungs. Like a ladder, she is slowly climbing. She is taking responsibility for trying to help him through his pain. Once she has traced the physical injuries of his body, she widened the search. This reminds us of the title, as though it is a crime scene searching for a missing victim. And again, this highlights how negative this experience has been, how wrong it is that a human has to suffer in this way. And she wants to find out why he is so tormented. As I said previously, the end of the poem is ambiguous, and you could read it in two ways. Armitage's last line is, "Then, and only then, did I come close." We wonder here if Eddie and Laura have bonded. Have they finally reconnected? Have they achieved that closeness that she had before he went to war? Or we could see it that she is only just beginning to get close to understanding his pain, but that she still does not have a complete understanding of his torment. We see an enduring strength in this couple. She takes her time, she does not rush him, but we see intimately how war affects both those who experience conflict firsthand and those who are left behind.